The flicker of candlelight painted soft shadows across the room, and I found myself stealing glances at him again. The red sweater he wore clung to him just enough, showing the lean lines of his body without him trying. My own pink sweater slipped off one shoulder, a casual accident, but his eyes kept finding the bare skin it revealed. Sometimes it's not the words that give us away, it's the way our eyes linger too long. He leaned back on the couch, casual, but there was nothing casual about the silence between us. The movie played on, forgotten. His scent drifted over to me, warm, musky, maddening. My fingers toyed with the hem of my sweater, restless. "Are you even watching?" he asked, his voice low, teasing, but edged with something else. I swallowed. Not really. Neither of us moved.
Neither of us had to.
The air was already thick with the answer. I didn't dare speak. The scariest confessions are the ones you never say out loud, but your body whispers them anyway. He shifted closer, his knee brushing mine. That tiny touch sent a jolt through me, more powerful than I wanted to admit. His blue eyes caught mine, searching, daring me not to look away. "You're shaking," he murmured. "Maybe I'm cold." His smirk deepened, but his hand reached for mine, his fingers brushing against my skin with deliberate slowness. My breath caught. I didn't pull away. When someone calls your bluff, the truth you've been hiding suddenly feels naked. The sweater slipped further down my shoulder as I turned toward him, and his gaze dropped, just for a second, but long enough to make my chest tighten. "You do that on purpose?" he asked. "What?" I whispered. "Make it impossible to stop looking." I wanted to laugh it off, but his tone left no room for games. I bit my lip instead, my heart hammering in my chest. The moment teasing stops feeling like a joke, it starts feeling like a confession. His hand slid from mine to my arm, tracing a line up toward my shoulder, pausing just where my skin was bare. My body burned under his touch, but my voice betrayed me. "You'll ruin me," I breathed. "Or maybe," he countered, his thumb brushing my collarbone, "I'll save you." The most dangerous promises are the ones that sound like salvation. The movie was nothing but background noise now. He leaned closer, his breath brushing against my cheek. I closed my eyes for just a second, 1 second too long, because when I opened them, his lips were already hovering near mine. "You want this," he said softly, not asking but stating. "I don't." My voice broke, betraying me. His hand cupped the back of my neck, steadying me. "Then stop fighting it. The truth doesn't need permission. It only needs one moment of weakness." And I did. I let him close the space, let his lips press against mine, soft at first, testing. My entire body leaned into him, as if I'd been waiting for this longer than I'd ever admit. His hand tightened against my waist, pulling me closer, anchoring me. I gasped into his mouth, and he pulled back just enough to whisper, "Say it. Tell me I'm not imagining this." But I couldn't. My silence was enough. Sometimes the words we don't say are louder than any confession. The pink fabric of my sweater slid down further as his hand brushed my shoulder again. I should have pulled it back up. I didn't. His eyes darkened, not with surprise, but with recognition, like he'd been waiting for this too. The couch suddenly felt too small. My heart raced too fast. Everything I thought I'd been protecting crumbled under his certainty. When the walls fall, you realize you'd built them just to see who'd break them down. His forehead pressed gently against mine, his lips brushing as he whispered, "This was never just a game for me." And the way his eyes locked on mine, I finally believed him. By the time you realize it's real, it's already too late to turn back. His words echoed in the quiet space between us, louder than the movie still flickering in the background. This was never just a game for me. My chest tightened, and for a moment, I forgot how to breathe. His thumb stroked along my jawline, slow, deliberate, like he was memorizing the shape of me. "You're still not saying anything," he whispered, though his tone wasn't frustrated. It was patient, determined. Silence can be the loudest answer, especially when every heartbeat betrays you. I swallowed hard, my lips parting as if words might come, but instead of speaking, I leaned back into his touch. His hand at my waist tightened, and before I knew it, he pulled me effortlessly into his lap. My knees straddled his thighs, the hem of my pink sweater brushing against his red one. The colors clashed, but in that moment, it felt like they belonged together. My hair fell forward, brushing his cheek, and I caught the glint in his blue eyes as he looked at me like I was already his. Some moments don't ask for permission. They simply rewrite the rules. His lips claimed mine again, hungrier this time, no hesitation. His hands pressed against my back, urging me closer until there was no space left between us. I melted, every barrier I had built collapsing under the weight of his certainty. I broke the kiss just long enough to whisper, "We can't," but my body betrayed me, leaning right back into him. "Yes, we can," he murmured against my lips, his voice firm, unshakable. "We already have." The most dangerous truths are the ones you've already stepped into without realizing. My fingers curled into the fabric of his red sweater, gripping it tightly, as if letting go would undo everything. He let out a low groan when my touch lingered against his chest, and I realized then, this wasn't just about want. It was about need. He kissed along my jaw, down to the curve of my neck, each touch igniting sparks I'd never felt before. My breath hitched, my pulse racing so fast it scared me. "You're trembling," he said softly. "Because I'm terrified." His hand stilled against my back. Of me? I shook my head, my voice breaking. Of myself. The scariest truths aren't about them. They're about the parts of yourself you can't deny anymore. His forehead rested against mine, grounding me even as everything inside me spun. "Then stop fighting. Let me show you." And I did. My lips crashed back onto his, my fingers tugging at his hair, pulling him deeper into me. His hands gripped tighter at my waist, holding me like he'd never let me go. The world outside disappeared. The only reality that mattered was his warmth, his heartbeat against mine. Sometimes surrender doesn't feel like losing. It feels like finally winning. We fell back against the couch, tangled together, laughter breaking between kisses, the kind of laughter that comes when you finally stop hiding. His hand brushed over mine, interlacing our fingers, and for the first time, I didn't feel afraid of being caught. I felt free. "You drive me insane," I whispered against his lips. "Good," he breathed. "Then you know how I've felt every second around you." Desire isn't always sudden. It's often the slow burn you've been ignoring all along. The candles flickered lower, shadows stretching across the room, but his gaze stayed steady on me. He brushed my hair back, his touch tender now, his intensity softened by something deeper. "You'll regret this tomorrow," I whispered, though it sounded more like a plea. "No," he said firmly, shaking his head. "The only thing I'd regret is if I never told you how much I wanted this. How much I wanted you." The deepest regrets come from the things we never dared to say. I closed my eyes, leaning into the truth of his words, because I knew he was right. This wasn't just desire. This was everything I had been running from, colliding all at once in his arms. His lips pressed against my temple, his hands holding me steady as he murmured, "You're not a game. You're the end of all my pretending." Tears pricked my eyes, though I didn't fully understand why. Maybe it was relief. Maybe it was fear. Or maybe it was because, deep down, I knew I felt the same. The most dangerous kind of love is the one you swore you'd never allow. We stayed like that, wrapped in each other, until the last candle burned out. The apartment fell into shadows, but his warmth was enough to keep me lit. His red sweater smelled of him, of comfort and risk, and I buried my face against it, letting go of the fight I had been waging with myself. For the first time, I wasn't hiding anymore. Once the truth is revealed, there's no going back, only forward, together.